Hello, my silent mathlete. Today I'm going to show you how to combine like terms by first defining what it means to be like and unlike. So let's get started. Beginning with like terms. So terms that are considered like are those whose variables and exponents are the same. In other words, terms that are like each other. So let's go over these few examples. So in this example, we have 5x. So we have a coefficient of 5 with a variable of x. Same thing with the second term, we have a coefficient of 3 with a variable of x, and the third one, we have a coefficient of -1 and a variable of x. Since they all have the same variable, x, we would consider these three terms alike. Let's look at the second example. Here we have 7a squared, 2a squared, and 10a squared. If you look at the variables of each and their exponents, they're all the same, a squared, a squared, a squared. So we would consider these three terms alike. Now let's define those unlike terms. Those are terms that are not alike. Let's look at this example. We have a term that's -2x, 5xy, and 10ab. If you look at the variables of each, here we have an x variable, here we have xy variable, and here we have a b variables. So they're completely different from each other, although this one has an x and so does this one, but this second term includes the y, so we would consider them unlike. So all three of those terms are unlike. Let's look at this second example. We have 5c, -3c squared, and 4c cubed. Although the variables are the same, right? c, their exponents are different. This exponent has a power of 1, it's just invisible, we don't really write it. This one has an exponent of 2, and this one has an exponent of 3. So again, although their variables are the same, their exponents are not, and so these three terms are unlike. Now we can get to the good part on how to combine like terms. That means that you are able to add like terms together to make one term. So if we look at this example, we have 2x plus 3x. So the variables are exactly the same, x and x, meaning we can combine their coefficients. 2 plus 3 is 5, and we bring the variable right next to it. So 2x plus 3x is 5x. Now let's look at this second example. We have 5x minus x plus 10y minus 7y. Now we have four terms whose variables are a little different. These two terms have a variable of x, and these two terms have a variable of y. So we want to combine the ones that are alike. That means 5x and minus x are going to be combined together, and then positive 10y and negative 7y will be combined together. Starting with the variables that have an x. 5 minus 1 is 4, and let's bring down the x, and then let's finish it with the y's. 10 minus 7 is 3, and let's copy down the variable. So 5x minus x plus 10y minus 7y reduces to 4x plus 3y. Let's look at this third example. We have 7x squared plus 3x squared plus 8. So only two terms are alike. 7x squared and positive 3x squared. They both have a variable of x raised to the second power versus our 8 is just a constant. So we're not going to be combining the 8 with these two terms. So 7 plus 3 is 10. And let's bring down their variables, x squared. And then the 8 is going to come right after, so plus 8. Now lastly, we have -3y to the 5th power plus 2y cubed plus 5y to the 4th power. Although each of these terms have the same variable, they have y, y, y. Their exponents are all different. This one's 5, 3, and 4. So unfortunately, we cannot combine these terms together, but we can definitely write these out in descending order. So what that means is you want to grab the variable with the highest power and write it down first. In this case, it's -3y to the 5th power. The next largest exponent is this one, y to the 4th power, so we're going to write plus 5, y to the 4th power. And then lastly, this y cubed plus 2y cubed. And that is how you combine like terms.